Hi there. Chapter 4. Washing the buckets. Dick and Nancy did not have to wait a week before they began to make money. The very next Saturday morning at breakfast, their father said, "Charlie is up at the sugar house in the sugar bush. He has started the fire to warm water for washing the buckets. I think you could help if you want to work today. What do you say to that?" "Good news!" cried Dick, and Nancy danced up and down. She was so delighted. Soon they were all bundled up. They ran out to the barn to help Father and to talk to Dolly and Bill, the two big friendly farm horses. "We were going with you to the sugar house," Nancy said to the horses, as she gave them some sugar. Soon Dolly and Bill were fastened to the sled called the sap sled. Nancy and Dick sat on the seat with Father. "Get along there, Dolly. Get along there, Bill," called Father. Off they went. Nancy and Dick knew the way to the sugar house. They had been there for picnics. They had picked berries there in the summertime. The sugar house was a little way up the mountain that Dick could see from the north window in his bedroom. Dolly and Bill walked slowly along the little road through snow-covered pastures. All at once, Dick called softly to Nancy, "There is old Mr. Woodchuck looking at us." Sure enough, over by the fence, Mr. Woodchuck sat up straight and still. The woodchuck watched them as they drove along. When they looked back, he was still there watching them until they turned a corner. Then they could no longer see him. "He's a funny old fellow," laughed Father. "I suppose it has been a long winter down in his hole, and he is glad to see the sun out and to see someone go along the road. Just as we like to watch the cars go by on the highway," said Dick. At last they came to the road that went up the mountain to the sugar house. "There is a bluebird," said Nancy. "There, on that tree. Spring is here. I saw one early this morning in the apple tree near the house," said Father. "Maybe it is the same bluebird that had his nest there last year," said Dick. "I'm sure it is," said Father. "He is very much at home in that tree." "I can see the smoke from the sugar house," cried Dick. Straight in front of them, smoke was going up and over the treetops. At last, they were at the sugar house. Father stopped the horses at the door. Dick and Nancy ran inside where it was warm from the wood fire and the great stove. "Hello, Charlie," they called. Hello, Charlie. We have come to help you. Charlie put more wood in the fire and then turned around with a big smile. That's fine, he said. We can always use some more hands. The first thing you can do is to help get water to put into the sugaring off pan. We will use that pan for washing the buckets. But there is no water here, said Dick. Charlie laughed. Then he showed Dick and Nancy how to put snow into the great pan on the stove. Almost at once it turned into water. When the water was hot, Father and Charlie went to work, washing each bucket very carefully. As fast as one bucket was done, Dick and Nancy would carry it outdoors where the sun could shine upon it. The time went very fast, and in no time at all, the morning was gone. Dick and Nancy were sorry when dinner time had come. By the time they were back at the farmhouse, they were very hungry. Maud laughed and said, "You eat like real hired men." After dinner, they asked to go back to the sugar house, but Father said there was nothing more they could do that day. Suppose we count how many hours you have worked, he said. When Dick and Nancy counted up, they had each worked 3 hours. Father gave Dick 10 cents for each hour he had worked, and Nancy 5 cents for each hour she had worked, just as he had said he would do. As soon as the money was in Nancy's hand, she ran to her room and brought back a funny pig bank. "There is not a penny in this bank," she said. "It is just a place to keep our radio money." So Dick and Nancy put their money into Nancy's pig bank. They were very proud and happy because this was the very first money they had ever made. All right, so it's going to be this time to a piece of poetry, a poem. So this poem is entitled "The New Colossus" by Emma Lazarus, 1883. You should look it up in the internet. It will give you a lot of information of history, American history. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here, at our sea-washed sunset gates, shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name mother of exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to be free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift the lamp beside the golden door.